Greetings and welcome back. Here we're going to be taking a look at today's oracle for the White Crystal Wizard. So let's get into that. White Crystal Wizard. Red Crystal Serpent. White Crystal World Bridger. Yellow Crystal Seed. And Blue Lunar Hand. Okay, so how do we put this? The Crystal Serpent. Everything in the crystal stone is like crystals are energy channelers. And so this is where I feel the serpent energy really plays in here, is that the crystal tone, just like any crystal, channels energy. And it's because all of those parts are compressed and very available. So it's a hyper focuser to any type of influential form, energetic form, or anything that becomes factored by it. And so the serpent energy here, I find, is it's like, in some way, now the wizard, this is a very esoteric description, because in this way, the serpent energy and the wizard is kind of like the dynamic of, Shiva or something like that, kind of harnessing their sexual energy and turning it into spiritual power. And so that energy, and this is also that Jedi reference of like the Padawan to the Jedi, is that we have the wizard, which is more of that kind of enlightened being as a manifestation, as an embodiment, and we have the helping power, which is the serpent. And so the serpent is also a primal instinctual energy, as well as it is also the sexual energy. So it's the thing that's taking kind of responsibility for the more physical, more in your face, more lower vibrational aspects of reality. And as it begins to move up, it becomes the charge of that sexual energy. And so in this way, the way that we're the crystal wizard, to me, it represents not necessarily like an externalizing of the sexual nature, but an internalizing of the sexual nature in such a way that it begins to excite those levels of consciousness or those skill sets. And it can also really be something of developing a skill set. If we really take a look at the wizard to the serpent, developing a skill set that shows up and really deeply helps us crystallize our essence of survival, that regular physical plane, maybe that just like that causality, maybe it's in the work realm, whatnot, right? And so we come up to the World Bridger because, as that energy is moving quite naturally, and it's also 5-6. World Bridger 6, Serpent is 5, Seed is actually 4. And funnily enough, Hand is actually 7. So it goes 5, 6, 4, 7. But 4, 5, 6, and 7 is in sequence here. So we have the crystal World Bridger that as that energy is being moved and as that enchantment nature is there, because there's this energy of becoming that is crystallizing and starting to settle into kind of a form of the totality of self-embodiment. I do what I can to avoid the word mastery. But that's really what we're talking about, is there's a type of mastery here that the world bridger begins representing by crystallizing the bridging of that world. And that would kind of like be the Skywalker, from the human Skywalker and to wizard. And so that's kind of saying that the human took the initiation, is becoming the wizard, and right now we're guided by the crystal world bridger. So it's crystallizing those aspects that are coming from one stage to another, and those aspects that are dying and falling away, bringing opportunity and new life, new space for new growth. And that survival energy, also that sexual energy, that's what's pushing it, right? That's what's moving that energy. Kind of like if you imagine up your spinal column, as that energy's moving, it's kind of pushing blockages out of the way. Right, you can even see the wizard here has a little halo, a little circle kind of at the top part of the head. And so this symbolizes for me too, kind of like making one available to those upper, more cosmic realms, which then can be defined by that very kind of Shiva description, not that it's limited to that in any way. So the World Bridger is really helping with that. And so I find this is very perfect, that the challenging power is the seeds, because it's challenging because it may be tricky to go, oh, wait a minute, there is a a spot to plant a seed that the World Bridger has helped open up. And World Bridger has helped kill something off so that something else can become present here. And it's up to us to plant those seeds. And so the seed is that fresh growth. Now, as this whole thing is, it's happening, there's this dualistic formation here, the letting go of and the bringing in of. And so I find the first two seals here, the serpent and the World Bridger, really kind of represent the letting go of in many ways. Even though the serpent can be defined differently, I'm going to kind of bring awareness to the letting go of, because we're coming into the crystallization of that wizardry. And so the seed in the hand really kind of represent, these are the nurturing energies. Like the seed is the energy of becoming. It's a seed that has been planted. And the hand, right? The hand is like the accomplishing. So it's almost like taking that raw primal energy that is kind of between the seed and the serpent, because that's also 4-5 as well. The serpent is like the energy of the seed that's in motion. The seed is like the potential, while the serpent is the seed that's beginning. It's like the sprout coming out of the seed in many ways. It's the motion of sexual energy. The seed is like the seat of sexual energy before it begins to move. And so it's in that potential. And so in this way, they're working compartmentally to have this energy seed itself start moving. And so this is all represented through the embodiment itself of the wizard, that crystallization and the death energy is helping us let go. And so we come into the hand, and it's the lunar hand, so we're in a stage of complementary dualism. And so we have the crystallization, which is this energy of all the things coming together. It's finely tuned. It's actually simple. It's very sustainable. And so the hand comes about in its lunar form, and it makes me think of just those aspects of like that nurturing thing that may come about. This is why I feel that the duality is represented, the lunar tone, is because it's the hand that's taking those two pieces. Like we have the space of the things that have died away because of the World Bridger, and then those seeds and whatnot that want to grow. The hand is taking that seed and it's integrating it into the being with that new knowledge of the wizard, that new, more sustained knowledge. It's also the healer and the accomplisher. So it's building towards something. It's actively taking a hand in that process of self-generation, of self-embodiment, or whatever this is, as an abstract phenomenon to the occurrence in life that can be described through these terms and things of this nature. So yeah, I'm going to leave you there. This feels really good. And stay tuned for the meditation aspect of today's episode.